I think what happens is typically they do have enterprises, but what MFIs look at is a cash flow of one, the enterprise, and also of the alternative livelihood sources that the household has. So if you have a woman borrower as the member of your JLG, you will look at what a husband does. He is a security guard at some place and has been there for 1 year, so it's likely that he has a stable kind of a thing. There is another person in the household who is a domestic maid, maybe the mother-in-law. And then this woman is a self-employed or an entrepreneur who's doing something at home or has a small petty shop at home and is selling goods from there. So one is the enterprise itself, and second is the cash flow of the household, which guarantees that even if there is a problem with this enterprise, or for example, they don't put the money in that enterprise but use it for consumption purposes, or they deploy it anywhere else, there is sufficient cash flow in the household to satisfy or to provide for the repayment amounts that will be expected at this particular loan amount. So that's how the loan appraisal process is taken up. And then there is a lot of second party, third party check. They will talk to the neighbors, and when they form the JLG, they make sure that the members know each other for a certain duration of time, they are comfortable with each other. So the loan appraisal is pretty much elaborate before at least the first loan goes out. And when the repeat loan cycles happen, then it probably becomes a bit relaxed. Primary risk in urban and rural is definitely different, because you expect people to have land holdings in a rural area, have their own house, they are settled there for generations. There is an urban setting, there is this risk that they might just, because they are rented accommodation and they are not able to sustain their life in a town or a city, they might decide to go back to the village at any point of time. So that element of risk is there. If I can add, as you say, market. Initially, there was a lot of support from international and domestic developmental organizations who pumped in a lot of money in development of the model and piloting, and all these major MFIs who are successful today have at some point of time taken grant funds to develop that model. But now the lending model is standardized and everything is worked out. So now the agenda of the developmental organizations have shifted to things like transparency, social performance management. So even the market, and the association itself is working for development of a credit bureau, for example. And Access is trying to work with an agency called Microfinance Transparency, which is now setting up operations in India. And we, together with them, are looking at kind of a pricing transparency initiative where we'll come out with prices of all the MFIs, most of the MFIs in the country, and then publish it on the website and various publications. So the market, supported by the development of the organizations, are looking at the issues of social perspective. So issues of transparency in interest rates, issues of transparency of, for example, shareholding patterns and income being generated, profits being generated by MFIs, or the mission drift or social performance. Even if the government is not able to do it, the market, supported by development organizations, aid agencies, is trying to develop its checks and balances as well.